Today we're going to be covering the quadratic formula. This is going to be split into two separate sections, the introduction and example A. Generalizing a solution method into a formula provides an efficient way to perform complicated procedures. You can complete the square on the general form of the quadratic equation ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0 to find a formula for solving all quadratic equations. So they started off with ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. The next thing they did was they wanted to get x squared by itself, so they divided every term by a, and they also moved c to the opposite side of the equation. Now, to complete the square, we would have x squared plus b over ax plus some number equals negative c over a plus the same number. On the next line, they did b over 2a to the second power, because remember, you take the second term's coefficient, you divide by 2, and then square it. But if I add that over here, I also have to add it to the opposite side. This would give us a perfect square. That perfect square would be of the form x plus b over 2a squared equals. Well, we want to get it to the point where we can combine these things. So this squared would be b squared over 4a squared. I would have to get the denominator the same here in order to add these. So notice that this denominator is 4a to the second power, so I need to multiply this by 4a. So this is going to be 4a squared, but that means I'm going to have to multiply 4a to the top. So that would be negative 4ac. The next thing they did was they took the square root of both sides of the equation. In doing that, remember, it introduces this plus minus. So they have x plus b over 2a equals plus or minus the square root. They rearranged it. They put the b squared first. So they put b squared minus 4ac. Now what we're going to do is we're going to move b over 2a to the other side of the equation. So we're going to say negative b over 2a. Well, this square root would be 2a. And on the top, we would have to leave this as plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac. None of that can come out. So the quadratic formula is when a does not equal 0, the solutions of ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0 are x equals negative b plus or minus the square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Go ahead and get this copied down, and on the next slide you will see a debriefing question to follow.